Lots of them live here, they work here. It's part of getting to know people on Earth.
Welcome, everyone, to We Are Not Alone, streaming here on Queen City News Plus. I'm your host, May K. Beeler, also the Chief Transportation Correspondent here at Queen City News. Now, those of you that know me know I'm a pilot of over 40 years, so of course, I'm infatuated with all things flying and the wild blue yonder and what's beyond that. And today we have a special guest who kind of specializes in perhaps what's beyond that or the unknown, different species. And yeah, right there, I can't wait to learn all about that. So Craig Campobasso joins us today, and we're going to bring you in, Craig, and say good morning. I know you're in LA, so thank you for joining us here in Charlotte.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Of course, I'm going to brag about you just a little bit before we get started. You're a multi-award-winning filmmaker, Emmy-nominated casting director. You're an actor. You got to start in a McDonald's commercial with a chicken sandwich. I think we'll talk about that.
Yes.
A writer, a producer, best-selling author. Can't wait to learn about this book and a documentary. Folks, you may have seen him on the History Channel. Ancient Aliens. He's been in many radio shows. Best known to me for his best-selling book and intriguing documentary, The Extraterrestrial Species Almanac, The Ultimate Guide to Greys, Reptiles, Hybrids, and Nordics. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to learn about this. And Craig, you're part of the Hollywood Disclosure Alliance, and I want to thank Dan Harari for introducing me to you and so many other guests. He vets the guests for me, so we know we were talking to people who are genuine with their experiences. How did you get into this? Tell me quickly about the Hollywood Disclosure Alliance.
Well, Hollywood Disclosure Alliance is a lot of people who are deep into the UFO community, pretty much everybody. And what it is it's a place where we can help each other when we're making our films, which is primarily to make films that are show extraterrestrials and things in a good light, not, that they're coming to eat everybody and all that kind of stuff. So more along the Close Encounters of the Third Kind and that type of thing. So I've been deep into it for well over 35 years.
Oh.
And it's amazing because I've had my own experiences. I've photographed an extraterrestrial, and I've met with people who are contactees who are having face-to-face contact with extraterrestrials, human extraterrestrials.
Wow.
And also people who are being abducted, and it runs the gamut. It runs the gamut of more positive than negative.
Okay.
But usually abductee cases start out negative because they're terrified and they have the bug eyes and all of that. But usually after a year or two, they start to see that there's a pattern of them waking up to a bigger reality in the cosmos, and they become more spiritually oriented. So they see that it was a positive thing instead of a negative thing. Well, but that's not always the case.
Right. Okay. I can't wait to learn about the different species and how do you know they exist and who have you met and are they here? And do I need to be scared and do I know one? What was your first experience? You said have you met one of these aliens?
Well, I went on a case in North Carolina. It's a very famous case. Chris Bledsoe, he has a book out called UFO of God. It's a bestseller, and I think they're making it into a movie now. I've known Chris and his family for a very long time. So I went down there. He took me through the whole Cape Fear River, showed me where everything took place, then took me back to the house that they abandoned because when they arrived home, their backyard is forest. And he was walking me and another friend in the front of the forest saying, and when we came home, they started walking out of the forest, and me and my young son ran inside the house. And so uh, I had a Minolta camera and I just kept flicking pictures, and actually one came out. So it's in the Extraterrestrial Species Almanac. It's at the very end, and I call it the unknown alien because it doesn't look like really anything that we've seen before. Its legs ended where our knees are, and then it had this long torso, long neck, sort of oval shaped head, and it was wearing goggles and it was holding a light source. And I immediately knew that those were interdimensional goggles and an interdimensional light source, right? And
Huh. So
anyway,
instead of the bug eyes, it had literally goggles on,
it
like
had
night vision goggles?
it had goggles. Yeah, they were like not like our goggles, but they were goggles.
Okay.
So when I really lightened it up, so it was sent through my friend to the government, and they said that they hadn't seen those beings since 1958. Yeah,
Let me be clear that I understand this. Did you see it with your eyes, or it just came out in the picture?
no, it came out in the picture. I did not see it with my eyes, but I felt presences because I'm also a sensitive. I've been like that ever since I was a little boy. And but I could feel it, and I could hear things rustling in the forest. The next night, his four kids wanted to take me there and tell me all their experiences, so we went back to that house, and I heard rustling again. One of the girlfriends of one of the sons took a picture, and there was in the background standing a praying mantis being.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have goosebumps. I've heard about this before. People have said praying
Yes.
mantis things, and I go, "Don't talk." I say, "Please don't say that. People are going to think you're crazy." And then I
No,
no, then I
it,
caught.
they're part of abductions.
So I
They
caught. I stopped myself. You'll be proud. And I said, "Make a stop it. Who am I to judge? Who am I to judge?" But
right.
but when we talk about this, it's like what? So
Well,
it's
it
a life size
sounds
praying mantis. What is it?
it's in a human body form. It stands on two legs, but it has a praying mantis head. It has two arms with fingers, right? They don't look
Yeah,
like our fingers.
yeah.
And I a lot of these are now being photographed at the Bradshaw Ranch, which is a bigger paranormal hotspot than Skinwalker Ranch outside of Sedona.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that in the UFO hotspot book. Um, yeah, that's in this book, UFO hotspot. Ooh, there we go. Compendium, all the places to visit before you die or are abducted.
I love it. I love it. Are we going to take a break? Okay. So much to talk about. We'll be right back. Craig, stay with us. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everyone, to We Are Not Alone. Craig Campobasso joins us today talking about his book, The Different Species of Extraterrestrials. And we've just learned about some aliens that only appear in photographs. You might be in the room with them, but we don't see them because they're in another dimension. So you've told me about the praying mantis. The first alien that you talked about, was that a lizard type creature? You said it's
It
short.
it seemed to be saurian maybe based, or also maybe a cross between reptilian and a gray. It seemed to be a different species. When I saw it, I heard in my mind serpens, which means maybe it was from serpens. And it the photograph that was taken afterwards was filled with plasma, and Chris told me every time he photographs something extraterrestrial, the very next photograph is always filled with plasma. So
Okay, so are you used to this now? I don't want to become jaded when I hear these stories. Do you become jaded like, oh, yeah, it's just another reptile. Oh, it's just another praying mantis. It's just another gray. Are you still in awe of this?
Well, I'm in awe of it, but I've been researching it, since I was 26,
Okay.
and I'm 65 now. So I've really, I have met lots of people who are, like I said, are having face-to-face contact. Now, in the book and in the documentary, which we released earlier this year, you will meet a man who has been having face to face with human clarion beings,
Hmm.
right? And he explained, he has pictures of them. I'm going to show you one right now.
Yeah, let me see. I'm really curious.
This is Nelfa.
Almost, is it an AI image or is that a real image?
No, it's a real image.
Okay.
It's a real image. And you can see they have more petite little faces and,
And they're beautiful.
small and absolutely beautiful.
Hmm.
Um, and so in the documentary, he explains who they are, why they came, who's still here, who's not here. We have I've met many contactees um, of Alpha Centaurians, which are Nordic beings. And uh, Sixto Paz Wells is been in contact with them for many years, well over hundreds and hundreds of contacts. And that's Paul Hynek right there, who's J.L.N. Hynek's son in the documentary that you were just
Right.
showing. He talks about the Men in Black, which is associated with Project Blue Book. And
That's where Men in Black, the movies came from, inspired by?
inspired by,
Yeah.
yeah, but they're not sweet guys like like the Men in Black.
Oh, oh,
They're not they're not that. No, they're not. They're sinister.
okay. So, Craig, because we have a limited amount of time, tell me about the different species. And do we need to be afraid?
No, we don't need to be afraid. Most of them are absolutely beautiful beings who are here to just help raise consciousness on the planet. They do have consciousness raising programs, which we can't get into right now because it would take too long to explain. Um, they're here to just oversee everything because this is a dualistic planet and we're moving towards becoming fully conscious like they are. So they're here to help with those final steps of grooming us towards that.
So, how do these different species get along? I mean, are they all here on the planet? I know you said some are interdimensional, but do they all coexist in some form, in some dimension here on Earth?
They do. They actually they all coexist on giant motherships, and if they're interdimensional beings, they can go between the dimensions inside of the ship because the ships are also multi-dimensional.
Do you have a favorite species? So, your book talks about the different species, the grays, the reptilians, the Nordics, the praying mantis. I have an open
I
mind, I'm learning.
I tend to really like studying the human extraterrestrials that are from the Pleiades. Those are also Nordics, but some of them are blue, some of them are brown, some of them have Asian eyes as well. Um, Syrians, Octurians, Andromedans. We go through all of those. Those are very, very highly evolved races.
Craig, how would I know if I met one? Like, are they walking around in our neighborhoods?
They are. They absolutely are. Lots of them live here. They work here. It's part of getting to know people on Earth. Lots of them work in the government. Hybrids
Oh my
work
gosh.
in the government because they're super smart, right? They're
Right,
super smart.
right.
Yeah. So,
How would I know if you were one, or
well,
if I was one? How would we know?
well, if you kind of look at the big scope of things, this planet was seeded by other beings not from here. So we basically all have those genetics in us, all
Okay.
kinds of races.
What is the most surprising thing you have learned on your journey? So you've been doing this since you were 26, you're now 65. What have you learned that you want to share with us?
Well, I think the thing that I found most is that most of them are so filled with such unconditional love. And if you actually connect with them, you will literally sob for quite a long amount of time. My friend that I told you about as well, where I went to North Carolina,
Chris
uh,
Bledsoe.
yeah, Chris also, he weeps all the time
Mm.
because you just can't believe how beautiful
Yeah.
they are and how beautiful everything is.
So are these angels?
Some of them are angels, some are angelic, some are celestials.
Do
Um,
are we all part of the same collective consciousness? The same God loves us all? Are we all connected in that way?
Absolutely, absolutely. They look at it like we all came from the same primordial atom, right? So we're all connected in that way.
Let me ask you, is disclosure coming soon? You know, we talk about UFOs and UAPs and ETs, and seems like we're talking about it a lot more than ever. And it seems like there are more sightings, and there's worries about nuclear wars, and there's so much political crap going on. Excuse me, so much toxicity.
Yeah.
Is everything coming to a head? And will they save us?
Well, they're not going to save us. No, that's for us to do because this is our collective consciousness creating its reality here. But they're not going to let anyone blow up the planet. They're not going to let people, when major disasters happen, they do help in some ways, shapes, and forms, right, with radiation and things of that nature, but removing it. But and they've been known to turn off nukes at military
Mhm.
bases all over the world.
Right, right.
So
Chris, what do you think they want us to know? So you're kind of like a light worker, is what I would call you, and that you spread the good and the light and their messages. Um, what do they want us to know?
that you're absolutely being looked after, but to really work on yourself spiritually so that you can merge your light and your dark. And really, in a nutshell, that means working on your emotions, right? So if you are one who's quick to temper, you have a lot to work on. You have to get to the point where you let everything go and understand when you can go. And if you get in an argument with somebody and there's bad blood between you and you want to fix it at some point, if it was your doing, you would wait until you felt the time was right.
Okay, we're going
So
to take a break, and we'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone, to We Are Not Alone. Craig joins us again. Craig, before we wrap up, um, does the president know that we
oh,
have
I'm sure he
ETs?
does. I'm sure he does.
So why the cover-ups with the government?
Well, I think they started covering it up way back when because they didn't want other nations knowing that they were in contact with these races exchanging technology. And it was more of keeping America, the number one nation. And then, they started planting um, people, people who would come in and debunk people's cases and make fun of them and all of that. And then they started with the cartoons and all of that. So it made it all look like it was just a bunch of rubbish
Hmm.
until these things came along. Because you can't refute what people are filming, right? And what people are seeing. And there just became this big resurgence of really people wanting to know the truth and people having so many experiences. Me being in the film business, being a casting director, lots of famous actors and some super famous, they've come to me and told me about beings that they have seen, craft that they've seen. I mean, amazing, amazing stories. One who's a television star told me, he's been taken up on ships and been shown his extraterrestrial children.
Wow. So, Craig, let me ask you this kind of a risque question.
Yeah.
Not that I would do this. If I wanted to be in contact, and not with the scary thing, but just
Right.
make contact, could I do that? Could normal people do that?
Sure. You could do that. A lot of people when they go out with contactees, for instance,
Yeah.
they'll take a group out to a spiritual place like Sedona or Mount Shasta. They will all meditate, and then um, they'll sing and they'll dance, and they're creating this energy.
Yeah.
And then that contactee will bring the ship in for them to see. And in one instance in Mount Shasta, the being, which was 9 foot Alpha Centaurian, actually selected 6 people to come into the forest and meet him. That was pretty fascinating.
Now, I want to end this on a good note. We're going to talk about your book and your documentary, but I think you had said that some can be scary, or maybe some can be
Yes.
evil or dangerous. What do we need to know about that?
Well, as long as your spiritual vibration is high and you're not a active drinker or drug user, you have nothing to worry about.
Interesting.
Right? Because active drinkers and drug users and smokers, not if you just smoke, but if it's a combination of it creates holes in your aura, and that's where they crawl in from.
Oh my gosh, so I have goosebumps.
Yeah.
Craig, where can we get your books and where can I watch your documentary?
So the documentary is on Vimeo as well. You can rent it or download it there, and it's just the Extraterrestrial Species Almanac, the documentary. I also have my other film on there, Stranger at the Pentagon, which is on Vimeo, which is the story of Valiant Thor, who is a being from somewhere else who lived under the Eisenhower-Nixon administration for 3 years. So that film's there. And then my website if you want to get a DVD of the documentary or any of my books, is autobiography of ANET.com. My book series is on the main page. And then if you click other books, that's where the DVD, the book, and all of my books are there. And if anybody orders things off my website, I'll sign them for you and all that good stuff.
Craig, I have to tell you, I've interviewed people for 40 years. I've been around a while, all over the world. I think you're the most fascinating.
Oh, thank you.
I am in awe. I'm going to read your book, but I do have goosebumps. So, Craig, we want to thank you of the Hollywood Disclosure Alliance.
Yes.
Keep up the good work. Thank you for sharing your story with us. I know for a lot of people, it's like, whoa, that's just way out there. I have an open mind, and we're all learning.
We're all learning. We're all learning, and lots of people were learning before me, and I've been learning. It's just that I kept at it because I just find it so fascinating.
Without question. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Craig, we're going to say goodbye to you. Thank you for joining us, and we thank all of you out there for joining us for this edition of We Are Not Alone here on Queen City News Plus. I'm May K. Bueller, and we will see you next time. And don't forget, we're not alone.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.